Moana stood at the edge of Motunuai's sandy shore, her gaze fixed on a peculiar sight. Far out at sea, enormous birds circled in the sky, their wingspans as wide as sails, forming perfect formations. Chief Tue had expressed his worry that these birds might be omens of an approaching storm or some disaster headed towards their beloved Motunuai. Yet, Moana felt a different call, a pull from the ocean whispering that the birds were leading her to something crucial. Accompanied by her loyal companions, Pua and Heihei, Moana set off in her trusty canoe, determined to follow the mysterious flock across the vast, sparkling waters. Days slipped by as Moana navigated using the stars and ocean currents, the ever-elusive flock always just ahead. A sudden squall threatened to capsize her canoe, but the birds swooped low, guiding her through the tempest. When dawn broke, a massive and lush island emerged on the horizon, wild and untouched. Gigantic nests perched on cliffs, and feathers the size of sails were scattered across the beaches. With curiosity and caution, Moana landed on this new shore, marveling at the giant footprints in the sand. She followed the tracks inland through tunnels of vines and blossoms reaching skyward like tall trees. A shadow passed overhead, a colossal bird with golden eyes and wings expansive as storm clouds. Heihei squawked in fright, but Moana was mesmerized by the majestic creature. From a ridge, Moana watched dozens of these massive birds circle a volcanic peak. Suddenly, the ground trembled, a giant egg cracked open nearby, and a newly hatched chick tumbled out, cheeping loudly. Moana rushed to assist it back into its nest. The parent bird landed nearby, its demeanor gentle as it bowed in gratitude to Moana, who realized then that these birds were not monsters, but guardians of this secretive island. Not everything was peaceful, however. Strange smoke curled from deeper within the jungle. Chopping sounds grew louder as Moana ventured closer to another mystery, a group of treasure hunters, led by a ruthless captain, stealing enormous feathers. Moana bravely confronted them, but they laughed, dismissing her as a lost islander. They planned to capture a giant bird and sell its magical feathers. Moana darted through the jungle in a harrowing chase and cleverly hid until they passed. Finding an ancient stone totem, Moana realized the island was sacred to the ocean. A voice, perhaps the ocean itself, told her she must protect these birds. Climbing to a high cliff, Moana used reflective shells to signal the flock, warning them of lurking danger. The birds swooped low in understanding, but one fell prey to a massive net. Moana sprang into action, using her oar to cut through ropes as hunters struggled to subdue the creature. The bird broke free, scattering the hunters, but they regrouped, preparing even bigger nets. Moana knew she needed help and sought the trust of the giant bird leader. Climbing the highest peak, she faced the legendary Sky Mother bird, proving her courage against fierce winds. The Sky Mother lowered her head, letting Moana climb onto her back. Together, they soared above the jungle, scouting out the hunter's trap, a cage meant for a whole flock. Moana rallied the birds, directing them in spirals around the intruders, creating a hurricane-like gust that blew them off their feet. The captain, relentless, grabbed Moana, threatening to toss her from a cliff. But the Sky Mother dived in, her screech petrifying the captain, who released Moana back to safety onto her back.